U.S. Treasury Department nailed meeting $1 US coin with Trump's image. UN chief welcomes Hamas response on Trump's ceasefire plan. Munich Airport resumes flight after suspended drone force second closure in 24 hours. At 1 on Haske TV and FM. I am Rachel Langs. The news in details. The U.S. Treasury Department is considering minting $1 coin with $1 coins that features President Donald Trump in order to commemorate the country's 250th anniversary, officials said on Friday. In a social media post retweeted by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasurer Brandy Beach shared early drafts of the coin. According to early indicators, the 12 coins will be openly political. The draft popularized by Beach depicts Trump shortly after he was slightly wounded in an ceasefire attempt during his election campaign last year. The word fight appears over an image of Trump with his face raised, recalling his reactions in the immediate aftermath of the incident. In a Treasury spokesperson, when asked about the coin, took at what they called the radical left's forced shutdown of our government and said that the country is entering its anniversary next year stronger, more than prosperous, and better than ever before. The plan for the coins comes after Congress in 2020 passed legislation signed by Trump during his first administration, allowed the treasurer to issue $1 coin with design emblematic of the U.S. semi-quincentennial. The U.S. Congress has restrictions on treasurer's ability to feature living people on coins designed, and it's unclear if the drafts could face challenge under existing laws. Next on our report, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Friday for a second time that the Trump administration can strip 350,000 Venezuelan immigration of a special status protecting them from departure. The conservative majority court in May had granted an emergency request filed by the administration to take away the so-called temporary protected status from the Venezuelan migrants. The U.S. High Court's three liberal justice dissented from the new ruling. It negated administration demands to be in danger if they return to their home countries because of war, natural disaster, or other extraordinary circumstances. Venezuela is mired in a deep economic crisis and governed by a harsh leftist government that much of the West considered autocratic and corrupt. In a brief order, the Supreme Court said that bearing a new order from its or another lower court chain's order against the government is frozen. She said that once again, the Trump administration than the people protected by TPS or the reasoning of lower courts in this case. Let's go on break. Once we return, the news continue. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is News at 1, and I am Rachel Langs. The news continue. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has welcomed Hamas' announcement expressing readiness to release hostage and engage with the Gaza peace proposal put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump. The UN chief stated this in a statement issued by his spokesman, Stephen Dujarric, on Friday in New York. Guterres urged all parties to seize the opportunity to end the conflict in Gaza, reiterating calls for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, unconditional release of all hostage, and unhindered humanitarian access. The UN chief also thanked Qatar and Egypt for their invaluable mediation work. The UN chief asserted that the organization will support all efforts towards this objective to prevent even more suffering. The Punch online news earlier reported that Hamas had announced on Friday that it has submitted its response to Trump's Gaza peace proposal to regional and international mediator, saying it has agreed to principle to release all Israeli hostages, both living and deceased. In a statement, the Palestinian group also agreed to transfer the administration of Gaza to the Palestinian body of independent technocrats formed through national consensus and supported by Arab and Islamic countries. On Monday, the Trump administration unveiled a 20-point proposal after the U.S. president held talk with visiting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which outlined a ceasefire for hostage deal of phase Israeli withdrawal, demilitarized Gaza, and international oversight of Gaza's reconstruction and governance after the end of the conflict. Next on our news, flights have resumed at Germany's Munich airport after unconfirmed drone sighted forced it to suspend operation for the second time in 24 hours. In a statement on Friday evening, the airport said that the flight was stopped at 9:30 local time, with around 650 passengers affected. At least 17 flights were also grounded at Munich on Thursday evening due to multiple drones sighted in nearby airspace. It was the latest in a series of incidents involving drones that have disrupted aviation in Europe in recent weeks. On Saturday morning, Monash Airport said flight had been granted rampart up, but warned that the delay may expected through the day. In a statement on its website, it urged passengers to continue to check the status of their flight before traveling to the airport. On Thursday, authorities in Balgam were also investigating sighted of 15 drones above the Elisabeth military site near the German border, according to Balkan media. After they sighted the drone, reportedly flew from Balkan to Germany, where they were also observed by the police in the small town of Düren in western Germany. The Germany's Interior Minister Alexander